Since archangels are so close to Earth and humankind, it's natural for us to connect with them. In fact, the Bible is filled with accounts of people interacting with Michael and Gabriel. And the archangels still interact with us in conjunction with God's will of peace. We don't pray to the archangels, nor do we worship them. All glory goes to God. We work with archangels simply because they are God's intended gift to us all, and part of the divine plan for peace. So why don't we simply direct all questions and requests to God? Because the archangels are extensions of God, who are easier to hear and feel during times of great stress. Their vibrations are very condensed, and so they're palpable and practically tangible. Just as looking at a sunset or a rainbow reminds us of God's love, so do the archangels. You don't need to be saintly or perfectly behaved to elicit the archangels' help. They look past all human mistakes, and they see the inner goodness within you, within us all. The archangels want to bring peace to earth by helping us all to be peaceful. So their mission includes helping the unpeaceful people of the world. As holograms of God's omnipresence, the archangels are unlimited beings. Remember the promise that Jesus made? I am with you always. Well, the archangels, like Jesus, are able to be with each person who calls upon them. The key is that the archangels will never violate your free will by intervening without permission, even if to do so would make us happier. See, the archangels must wait until you give permission in some way, such as a prayer or a cry for help or a wish or a visualization, an affirmation, or even just thinking this. The archangels really aren't concerned with how you ask for their help, but only that you do ask for their help. And you also don't need to worry about asking for the archangel's help incorrectly. You don't have to be specially trained or use fancy invocations to garner the archangel's attention. Any sincere call for aid is enough, as all they require is your permission. Affirmative and supplicant prayers both work. In the former, the affirmative prayer, it's a positive here and now statement or visualization such as, "Thank you, Archangel Michael, for protecting me." And in supplicant prayers, it's an appeal like, "Please, please, Archangel Michael, protect me." Both types of prayers yield the same results. And this is also the answer when asking, should I call upon God directly? Should I ask God to send the appropriate angels? Or should I call the angels directly? These questions imply that there's a separation between God and the angels when there's not. So this audiobook will help you to get to know the specialties, the characteristics, personalities, and energies of my favorite archangels. In this way, you'll develop a closer relationship with them. The more that you work with them, the more that you'll begin to know and to trust them. You'll feel peaceful, knowing for certain that you're safe and protected in all situations. These archangels have long been described in spiritual texts such as the Bible. Michael and Gabriel actually are the two archangels to specifically be named in the Bible. The book of Daniel describes both angels, including Gabriel's role in helping Daniel interpret his visions, and a mention of Michael as one of the chief princes. In the book of Luke, Gabriel appears in the famous, "Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, annunciation of the forthcoming births of John the Baptist and Jesus Christ." Michael also appears in the book of Jude to protect Moses' body, and also in the book of Revelations. The archangels also appear in apocryphal and Talmudic biblical books. The scriptural texts that aren't in the canonical Bible are still regarded as sacred and are part of the Bible of the Eastern Orthodox and other churches. For instance, the book of Enoch discusses the archangels Michael, Raguel, Gabriel, Uriel, and Metatron. The book of Tobit is the account of Archangel Raphael guiding Tobias in his travels and helping him to create healing ointments for his father Tobit. And the second book of Esdras, which is recognized by the Coptic Church, refers to Archangel Uriel, calling him the angel of salvation. And then there's the Quran, which is the Islamic scripture which was revealed to Muhammad by the Archangel Gabriel. And in the Quran and in Muslim traditions, they also describe the archangels Michael, Raphael, and Azrael. So, how many archangels are there? Well, the answer depends upon whom you ask. Traditionally, people think of the four archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. However, as I mentioned, only two of these archangels are named in the traditional Bible. Muslims hold that there are four archangels, Gabriel, Michael, Azrael, and Raphael. The Bible's book of Revelations tells us that there are 7 archangels, and in the non-canonical book of Tobit, Raphael says that he is one of these 7. The Gnostics also held 7 archangels in esteem. Historians believe that the number 7 comes from the Babylonians' blend of religion and astronomy, with reverence for the 7 planets' mystical powers. Which 7 archangels make this list, though, differs from source to source, and that's not even taking into account that each archangel's name has alternative spellings and pronunciations. In the Judaic mystical Kabbalah, 10 archangels represent each of the Sephiroth, or aspects of God. In the Kabbalah, Metatron is the chief archangel. So the topic of how many archangels exist can be confusing and subjective. I tried to answer this question to my own satisfaction while researching and writing my book, Archangels and Ascended Masters. My methodology was to learn as much as I could about the archangels and then have personal interactions and connections with each one. The 15 archangels whom I was easily able to reach and research and who emanated God's pure love and light were included in that book and in this one. In truth, there are legions of archangels helping us here on earth. In fact, Eastern Orthodox theology holds that there are thousands. My prayer is that we will be open-minded and welcome trustworthy archangels into our sphere of spiritual friends. If you're concerned about lower energies, I want to reassure you that there's no way that any fear-based physical or spiritual being could mimic the profound healing love and light that emanate from our beloved archangels of God. Plus, if you ask God, Jesus, and Archangel Michael to shield you from lower energies, they're happy to ensure that only beings of light are with you. Yes, there are lower energy and fear-based spiritual beings, whom some call angels, but who are actually earthbound spirits. For example, a being who's been called an archangel named Samael was once called the angel of light or the light bearer. But then Samael's light fell and he became vengeful and dark. And this seems to be the basis of the ideology about Lucifer, who isn't specifically mentioned or named in the Bible at all, but who is discussed through mythology and legend. In this book, I've stayed far away from these dark beings of occultists, including those who are supposedly associated with King Solomon. The occult legend holds that Solomon used his magical ring embossed with the Star of David to control demons who built his temple. The names of these 72 demons are sometimes presented as a list of angel names, but they're not angels. These so-called Solomonic lesser and greater keys teachings can bring in dark and untrustworthy energy. And by the way, I don't believe that the good King Solomon worked with any lower energies. Some occultists invoke the names of the sacred archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel in fear-based ceremonies. And my advice to you, stay away from any religion or spiritual practice that is fear or guilt-based. Stick with the real angels of God's light and love. They're the ones who will really bring you the peace and happiness that you desire and deserve. The main response I hear from those who begin working with archangels is, "Oh, this changed my life for the better." People become happier, healthier, and more peaceful and sure-footed as a result of doing so. The archangels are a very personal way to connect with God's love and wisdom. My prayer is that each moment of your day is carried upon the wings of angels.